Sure.
Yeah, there are games at Arsenal, and then there are games, big games, and it felt like a big game. It felt, when you get in there, it was just crackling in there. It was real. There was a little nervousness around because of the consequences if we lost, for example. I felt that sort of underpinned the day, but the excitement when we were on top was really, really good. So I came away disappointed and encouraged at the same time. If that makes sense.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think the first half was outstanding from Arsenal's point of view. I thought it was a really strong, poised, quite mature performance. Much better level-wise than we've been of late. It's just the second half we ran out of gas. And I think by the time the final whistle blew, it was the fair scoreline.
Yeah.
I agree with Clive as well. I definitely felt a mixture of disappointment, but at the same time, optimism. It was quite confusing. Leaving, I felt like we had come from a loss, but obviously we hadn't. And I guess that's where we are at the moment. But then I want to know what your guys' thoughts are about the overall performance.
I thought it was good because, as I said, you looked at the team selection, the injuries, and I know people keep saying all teams have injuries, but at one point yesterday, like our starting back four was not present. Calafiori was injured. Gabriel obviously went off. He'd give it everything. Saliba suspended. Timber then had to go off. So, I thought Ben White yesterday was a colossus. Brilliant. I thought he was outstanding. I think he has to be in the next England squad. If he's not, then there's a bigger conversation needs to happen, but that's for a later date. But I thought he was outstanding. I thought the team worked really, really hard. And as you said there, I think you feel disappointed because you're thinking, can you hold on? Can you hold on? And it almost felt like the one moment, I won't say Arsenal switched off, but I think the first time Martinelli didn't help out the fullback, they punished it. But that's why they're a top side, because I thought Martinelli yesterday was outstanding. I thought he caused Trent no end of problems. But I was more impressed with when Lewis Skelly came on, how much he helped him, because he got himself back into shape early, so Salah couldn't isolate him 1v1. And the one moment where he ran forward, Trent, so clever, puts in Darwin Nunez, and they're in that side. But I think if you're an Arsenal fan, as Clive said earlier, the optimism has to be there because we were nowhere near at our best in terms of our best players. But to go toe-to-toe with some people thinking are the second best team in the country, you have to take positives from that.
Yeah, you do. Sorry, Hedges.
No, I was going to say, on that goal, the equaliser, Timber had virtually sacrificed himself in possession. He didn't really have much of the ball. He was there to shackle Salah, and he did a really disciplined job. It's the one time, and you're right, Darren, to pick up on it, where Miles Lewis-Skelly doesn't do anything wrong. He joins in with an attack. He feeds Martinelli. He does what a normal fullback would do. But he's out of position. When Martinelli loses the ball, he's out of position and Liverpool punished. So when people, and there's a lot of pundits out there last night and this morning saying, why did Arsenal sit on that lead? Why didn't they go for the third goal? That is the exact reason why we didn't go for the third goal too gung-ho, because Liverpool have got the players to really punish you. You needed to keep the back four in place, especially a depleted back four. And the one time we didn't do it, Liverpool hurt us. So that's a choker. It really is for Arsenal.
You can see Arteta was upset about that goal. Because he knows he does not want them running into open spaces. And what do we do? And sometimes when you go to the Emirates, excuse me, when we're attacking, you see Arteta do this, he says, calm, calm. And me and Adrian were talking, we were too aggressive going out to Martinelli, too aggressive going out to him. Once it turns over, we then don't go and counter-press, which gives Trent a chance to get his head up. Well, there are other players I'd like to get their head up rather than him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Because he knows how to kick it, right? So, and he kicks it straight in there. Miles doesn't quite recover. Kiwior gambles a little bit on the through ball, can't get it. And now we're running back. We're running back to dodge. It's just like, it frustrated me because I don't think they were going to score unless we over-attacked. Yeah. And we did exactly that. And it's just like so frustrating. But my overall feeling is positive because I found a level that we are at. I found almost a team beneath the team, and that's really encouraging. But the negative is a slight tinge of this opportunity. Slight tinge. Yeah, only slight.
It is, and as Clive said there, was disappointing because we looked so solid that there was no way I could see Liverpool getting a goal. And to be fair to Martinelli, if you watch when Lewis Skelly come on, every single time the ball's on that side, he sprints back into position and almost allows Skelly to become another centre-half. So he's not 1v1 with Salah, but there's 2v1. And as you said, there's just that one little moment where I think it's a misplaced pass or a bad ball, and Trent is just so clever. I mean, as you said there, Clive, you pretty much want that ball to drop to anyone else but Trent, and he just executes it perfectly well.
I understood why Mikel held off of making more substitutions, and I get it because he's already been forced into a couple, but I think Martinelli was out of legs, and I think Saka was really sort of running on fumes as well. That change maybe 5 minutes earlier might have made a difference, but we can't look back. I think overall there were more positives than negatives from an Arsenal point of view, and given the back four we had in place for the final section of the game, 2-2 against informed Liverpool is absolutely fine. It's acceptable.
So while we're talking about goals, obviously Arsenal went in the lead with a stunning goal by Bukayo Saka. He was obviously in the press quite a bit last week, and obviously we weren't even sure he was going to play in the game this week. So what are your thoughts on his goal?
Wow. Clive, I'll leave it.
Well, it's sort of one of those goals when he sort of like rips it into the roof of the net. Well, actually, he goes down the line, lovely sort of spin and go long. Ben White clips over the top. And when you do a nutmeg, it's good when you do a nutmeg. But when you bounce a nutmeg for a player's legs, right, as a player, that's humiliating because you bounced it almost higher up with his legs. That's not a good look for Andy Robertson. Honestly, it's not a good look. And then he looks at the goalkeeper and just dismisses him into the top corner. Yeah. And funny enough, I was watching the Barcelona game on Saturday night and watching them play, and I just thought, yeah, Yamal's really, really good. And it's almost as if Saka was watching him as well and said, I'm going to stick it in top corner. You know, I just can't speak highly enough of him, really. And to not see him for a couple of games, for him to come back. He was the skipper, was he, Adrian?
He was the skipper in the game, yeah.
And he didn't feel like he was the skipper as well.
He owned Andy Robertson in the first half, didn't he? He absolutely ripped him to pieces. Every time he got the ball, he was too quick, too strong, too good with his decision-making. He was outstanding. You look at the stats in the game, and they're not great. He touched the ball 4 times in the box. He didn't create a chance. He had 2 shots. Yet I felt that in the first half, he was the absolute outstanding player. For me, Saka in that form is absolute world class. You tell me, how many better players are there in his position than Bukayo Saka on the planet? I just don't think there are very many at all. He's absolute top drawer.
Do you know, I think the argument people will say is probably the guy that he's up against in Mo Salah. Because you look at Mo Salah's numbers throughout the last, 6-7 years, I mean, they are astronomical. I mean, that's the only thing Saka can do, I believe, to get to that level is the numbers. If you talk about player for player, I've got no doubt Saka's a better player, as in a footballer than Mo Salah.
But he's reached 50 Premier League goals. Okay, he's one of the youngest players to ever reach 50 Premier League goals. You look at the list of names that have done it quicker than him. They're all strikers, and they're all Premier League greats. And he's not a striker. No. Exactly. There's a lot of assists in there as well. So, I think there's no denying he's special.
Yeah, he's not taken into the fact that he's also a fullback on occasion for us, right?
True.
And so he's a fully rounded player. I do think I always look at the opposition when he has it, and they are rushing over. Yeah. They're rushing. Anyone can get there quickly to get around Robertson because they know he can't handle him. They know. And Núñez went through the back of him once, and it's just like they're trying to take him. They're trying to take him out whenever they can. And referees just say, get up. And give him a chance. Don't give him a card. So, yeah, he is... I think he's starting to grow into his senior role. That's why I asked him was he captain, because he really looked like our leader. He really did. Him and Gabriel, we lost him obviously, but he looked so senior. And he's 22, 23. Please stay.
Do you know, it's almost one of them where when he's not there, as you said, you notice it badly because he always wants the ball. He's strong as they come. He'll take the ball and for me, he is world class. When you look at, we look at Andy Robertson as a so-called one of the best left backs about he has been, and rightly so for what he's done for that Liverpool team. I saw Saka yesterday completely, not even a fully fit Saka, completely destroy him. I saw him a couple of years ago. It's Luke Shaw at the Emirates, where we perceive Luke Shaw as one of the best left backs. Absolutely destroy him. Whoever he's up against, he completely dismantles them. We've seen him for England for the last 3 years. Be England's best player for 2-3 years probably. I know he hasn't won it this year, but I think he won it previously 2 years in a row. I think there's no telling where he can go in his career. Now I know he loves Arsenal. He's Arsenal through and through. But I just hope that the club match his ambition and they keep growing together. That's going to be my only concern because there's him, there's Saliba, there's probably a couple others where if Arsenal keep finishing second, yes, it's fantastic. But at some point he's going to be saying to himself, and rightly so,
I need to win.
I need to go and win trophies. My career and my ability are too good to have nothing to show for it. So at some point, I know, has he got an FA Cup, Clive? Would he have been in that squad?
He was in the squad. He didn't get on, did he? He didn't get on.
I remember he was part of the squad.
Yeah.
He was on the bench, I think.
But I think right now is his time to kind of, let's go and win some trophies. But right now, while Arsenal have got him, it's an absolute pleasure to watch because I feel that there's no fullback in world football that can stop him. When he shows that type of ability like he showed yesterday, it doesn't really matter. And I think one thing, you guys obviously watch Arsenal all the time, is his ability to go either way. I think some left footers want to cut inside, chop back and cross it. He's now happy to go chop back onto the right and just smash it across. And for me, he's one of the best in the world for sure.